Say it again louder, Victor.
What's closest to the x-axis?
So the zeros are the same thing as your what?
X-intercepts.
Yes, x-intercepts. That's all we're finding, which we've been doing. So it won't be anything new. The first thing we're going to do, you know how yesterday we were finding zeros and they gave us a factor? So it's pretty easy. This time we're not going to have any factors, no clues today. We're just going to have to find the zeros on our own. So the first thing we'll do is list out possible rational zeros. What does rational mean? What are rational numbers?
Real.
Real numbers. What else? Y'all talk to me. What are rational numbers? They're real, but what kind? Positive or negative. They could be either one. Do they have to be whole numbers? Nope. So any number on a number line, pretty much. Any real number. That can be listed as a fraction. So for example, let me write down, and you write this down too, these three numbers, and I want you to tell me which ones are rational and irrational. Alright, which two are rational here? And which one? Yes. So rational numbers either end or what? What is this one doing? Repeating. So it either ends a decimal or repeats. Why isn't this one rational? Does it ever stop? Square root of 17? Try it. Put it in your calculator. And tell me if you see a pattern also. Or if it's a bunch of random numbers. I'm going to try to fix my calculator. Let me see your calculator so I can show them. So this is square root of 17. Notice how it doesn't end. Do you see a pattern? Like, could you guess what this next number was going to be? No, that's why it's irrational. Okay, so all we're going to do is find the possible rational roots today. And here's how we do it. We take our first coefficient and our last term, and we're going to find all the factors of each one first. Of the first leading coefficient and the last constant term. Let's do -6 first. Tell me all the factors of -6. Start with the smallest. Alright, Colby, tell me a factor of 6. Start with the smallest. Good. So plus or minus 1.
Miss Horton?
Yes.
Can you please let Colby McLean know I have a checkout slip for him at 118 at the attendance window? He can come get it any time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You have a checkout slip at 118 at the attendance window. You can come. You can go get it after my class. Okay. All right. Amber, give me another factor of -6. Go in order.
2.
So plus or minus 2, right? Either one could go in there. Next one. And 6. That's the last one. All right. Tell me all the factors of 4. Starting with smallest. 1, 2, and good. I put plus or minus so I don't have to write those out like -1, 1, -2, 2, but you can if you'd like. So all the possible zeros, let's let this be P, -6. Let's let this be Q. All of the possible zeros, and I'll put PZ, you list as P over Q. Again, you list them as P over Q. So we'll take the first number of P, which is 1, right? Or plus or minus 1. Over the first one here, which is what? 1. So do I have to put plus or minus 1 over 1? No, I could just put plus or minus 1, right? Next one, again, we're going to list all of these P's over this 1Z. So this will be plus or minus 2 over what? Just this one right now. 2 over 1, so just 2. Plus or minus 3 over 1. Plus or minus 6 over 1. So we've done all of them over 1. So cross that out. Now we're going to do all of them over this 2. So the first one will be plus or minus. What's this one? 1 over 2. Good. Alright, the next one would be plus or minus 2 over 2. What is 2 over 2 though? 1. Haven't we already listed 1? So we could skip over that one. Next one will be plus or minus 3 over 2. Next one will be plus or minus 6 over 2, but that's just the same as what? 3. Hadn't we already done that one? So we're done with 2. Tell me what the next 0 would be, possible 0. 1/4. Good. Do we have to do 2 over 4? Because that's the same thing as what, Cade? 1/2. We already did that one. What about 3 over 4? Yes, we need that one. Do we have to do 6 over 4? That's the same as what? Good. These are all the possible zeros. These are all the possible x-intercepts that this polynomial could have. 1, 2, 3, 6, 1/2, 3 over 2, 1/4, 3 over 4. Questions about that one? Alright, next one. So what is my p in this one? If the last one was p equals -6, this one is -2. Our last term, what is q? 15. Alright, Brandon, list all the factors of -2. And good. Alright, Abigail, list all the factors of 15. Good. And good. So for our possible zeros, again, this is always going to be our numerator. This is our denominator. So let's start with putting everything over 1. Both of these over 1. So the first possible 0 is what?
1.
Next? 2. Good. So we're done with that one. Next one, we're going to put them all over 3. So the first one will be what?
1/3.
Next? Good. Done with that one. Alright, Miles, tell me the next one. Good. Next? Yep. Go ahead and do both of them over 5. So you did 1 over 5. Now we need 2 over 5. Good. Alright, done with that one. Solomon, what's our last 2?
1 over 15.
Good. And?
2.
Very good. That's all the possible zeros.
So we have to put the plus or minus in everything.
Yes. Unless you want to write out 1, -1, 2, -2. Alright, go ahead and do this one on your own. Or wait, never mind. We don't have another one like that. Alright, the reason we had to list these is because, see in this one it says find all the zeros. Yesterday it said if this is a 0, and we would plug it in using synthetic. Well, now they don't tell us any of the zeros. How many will we have in this one? How do you know it was 3? Whoever said that? That's the degree. So there'll be 3 zeros in total. So what you're going to have to do is list all the possible zeros of this first, which we're going to do. And then you'll have to go in and plug some of these in to see which one's going to give you what when you plug it in. 0. Okay? So let's start by doing that. First, go ahead and find all the possible zeros of this one. So just what we did here, do on this one first. Let me know if you need help. No, you're good.
Miss Horton?
Yes.
Did Logan Modern make it in?
Yes, he was just starting.
Tardy, thank you.
Same thing with your CV. All right, let's go over that part quickly. What's our P, Jalen?
Negative 20.
All right, list all the factors. Starting with the smallest.
You want me to?
Yes.
Plus or minus 1.
Go ahead.
Plus or minus 4.
Smaller.
2.
Then 4. Then what?
10.
Smaller.
Miss Horton, what about Antonio Brown?
Yes, he was just starting.
Thank you.
5.
Good. Then 10. Then what?
20.
Yes. All right. For Q, what is our Q, Katie? Good. So just the factors. So this one's easy because all of these over 1 are just going to be themselves, right? So all the possible zeros are just these right here. Now, I would start with the smallest one, which is plus or minus 1. Again, you're going to have to plug in 1 for x to see if it equals 0. Try that first. Y'all want to do it out loud or you want to work it out on your own? Plugging in just 1 to x and tell me what you get when you plug in 1. No, not really. What'd you get? 0 if you plug in 1? Okay, so Kelsey already did it for you, but I'll do it out loud. 1 cubed is what?
1.
Plus 8 is
9.
plus 11.
20.
And then minus 20?
0.
Good. So 1, you can put x equals 1. That's one of your zeros. We just have 2 more to find. Now that we know that 1 goes into it, do synthetic with that number, with 1, for this problem. And you'll see why in a second. What are our coefficients we'll put up here?
8, 11.
Good. Kaya, what goes right here?
1.
Cade, what goes right here?
1.
Kayla, what goes right here?
9.
Logan right here?
9.
Megan right here?
20.
Good. Justin right here? Good. So the remainder is 0. So Miles, tell me how to write this as a trinomial.
1 squared.
Good. X squared, but go ahead.
And then 9x plus 20.
Good. And now we can factor this, because what factors of 20 add together to get 9?
5.
Good. So it'd be,
X plus 4, x plus 5.
so our other 2 zeros are what?
Negative 4, negative 5.
Very good. It's not too bad. These are our 3 zeros. I'll tell you that it won't be like 1 that always goes into it. Sometimes you'll have to go down the list. That's just going to be the time-consuming part. It's not hard. Any questions on this one? Finding all the zeros? All right. Flip it over. Go ahead and start by finding all the possible zeros for B. And notice how this one's 1 out front. So really you just have to find factors of what? Yep. Negative 6. Go ahead and write those out. I made that part easy for you, at least. Once you get the possible zeros, go ahead and start plugging some in to experiment which one's going to be 0. You want to see the calculator? Alright, Camden, what'd you get for possible zeros?
1 over 1.
So 1,
1 over 2.
I think you're doing it backwards. These are supposed to go on top. Somebody tell me the other two. 3 and 6. Alright, I'll let y'all keep experimenting on which one is going to be a 0. Whenever y'all get it, just say it out loud. 2? -1 worked too? Alright, let's check both of them out loud. Colby said, you said -1 works, right? Okay, so Victor said -1 works. Let's check it. What's -1 cubed? -1. Good. I'm going to write it over here. What is -1 squared? Times 2. So plus 2. -1 right here. -1 times -5 is what? Plus 5. And then we have a -6. What's this going to make? Plus 5. -6. So that one works. Let's use -1. So you can go ahead and put at the top x equals -1. And now you'll do synthetic with that -1. Jalen, tell me the coefficients up here.
1, 2, 5. Wait, 0.
Not just 5.
-5.
Good.
And -6.
Alright. Mackenzie, what goes here? 1. Solomon?
Oh, -1.
Katie? Good. Alyssa right here? Good. Abigail right here? Brandon? And then 0. So tell me how to write this as a trinomial, Amber.
X squared plus x minus 2.
Good. Antonio, what are two numbers that multiply to get -6 and add together to get +1? Which one's negative? Good. So what are my two other zeros? Colby already said one of them was 2. The other one's -3. Good. And see, the degree was 3, so we should have had 3 zeros, which we did. Are there any questions before you try C and D on your own? All right, try them on your own. C and D. Let me know if you need help. Doing good. Very good. Now, positive 1 is 0. Let me take 0. Let's start with positive 1 because 1 here right here, if it's 1 cubed is what? Okay. 1 squared times 7 plus this will make 11 now. Put inside this in the calculator, see that equals 0. So try -1 now. Go ahead. Plug in -1 for x, just like we just did.
We're going to use the quadratic.
On this one. See, make sure I was supposed to get it. Yes.
just use it on both.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
5 minutes? Keep going.
Do you want to have the decimal or just?
Just numerical form. So did you check 30 didn't work? Cool. So 1 and negative 1 didn't work, right? 3 didn't work, so it has to be what? Good. Start to see that with the negative 3 on that side. I'll give you about 2 more minutes, then we'll start going over these. You don't have to write it separately if you don't want to, because I'll know the plus minus means 2 answers. Don't give up. That's right. You got to do question 1 on Remember the 2, you want to exclude the sign on inside. Yeah. And it goes on the outside, right? So it'll be the square equal. Yes. And then what stays underneath? That making the 2's and values just like your method. Alright, we'll start going over these. Looks good so far? Alright, I'm going to just call on some people to help me. First of all, what were the possible zeros? Anybody?
Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3.
Yeah. And most of y'all started with the smallest, and 1 didn't work, negative 1 didn't work. Neither did positive 3, so which one did work? Negative 3, that was one of them. There it goes. Alright, so I'm going to put negative 3 on the outside. All of these up here. And this would give me 1, negative 3, 4, negative 12, negative 1, 3. Did everybody get that part? Okay, from here, tell me, Kelsey, the quadratic that's going to come up.
Alright, the formula or the answer?
This part written as a trinomial, sorry.
X squared plus 4x minus 1.
What do we notice about this one? You can't factor it. You have to use what? Alright, Colby, help me out.
Negative 4 plus or minus
all over. Good. And this is supposed to be times -1, right? Okay. So underneath we'll get 16 plus 4. That'll make what? 20. -4 plus or minus square root of 20 over 2. What goes into 20? Perfect square. 4 and 5. Good. So, Kayla, what goes on the outside? Good. So -4 plus or minus 2 square root of 5 over 2. What can we take out of all of these? 2. So it'll be x equals, anybody? -2 plus or minus. That's it. How many answers do we have? 3. Okay. This counts as how many? 2 because of the plus or minus. Did everybody see that? So we should have 3. We got 3. Everybody's good. Now let's do the last one, this part together. Did y'all find a 0 that worked? 2? Okay. So 2 works, so we'll put x equals 2. Darian, tell me the coefficients that go up here.
1, -5, -2.
Alright, Ransom, tell me what goes here.
1,
Antonio, what goes here?
2,
Amber?
3.
Justin? Colby?
1,
Brandon?
2.
And 0. So tell me how to write this as a quadratic. Anybody?
A squared is 3.
Guess what? Can you factor this one? You got to use quadratic formula again. Okay? So tell me how to set it up, Logan.
X equals -3 plus or minus square root of 5.
Good, because you got 9 minus 4. Good. Over 2. So your x equals -3 plus or minus square root of 5 over 2. Can I simplify this?
No.
That's it. There's your 3. Any questions? Alright, before when we were finding like zeros of polynomials, we would just factor, right? Correct? How come we can't do these with these? Could you? What now? Alright, let's look at this one we just did. If we were going to factor this, we'd do it by grouping, correct? Alright, let me bring this one down here then. Alright, if I was going to group this, tell me what I could take out of these two. X squared, so I'd have x plus 1. Would this work out right here? Everybody see that? That's why we have to do these this ugly way, because we can't factor these. These are polynomials that cannot be factored up here.
Why can't they?
I think it has to do with the fact that it's prime. Like this is 1, 1, -5, and -2. Those are all prime numbers.
Okay.
I think that's why. Alright, these are just the exact same thing we've been doing. I'm just going to do one of them with y'all today. This one.
Prime?
Huh? This one?
Yeah, it's 6, 22, and 30.
Okay, do you know how to factor it?
Oh, you can group those?
No. If you group them, it has to be 4 terms.
Oh, okay.
You can't factor anything greater than 4 terms.
I'll grab that calculator.
You can. I'll show you how tomorrow. Not today. Sorry. You need to know how to do it both ways. Because what if your calculator goes down on the ACT? What if your college professor doesn't let you use a calculator? You need to do it both ways. I'll show you shortcut tomorrow. Alright, on this one, what are the possible zeros? Just 1 and what? 13. Go ahead and see which one will go into that. I would start with 1. Start with 1, see if that'll go into it. You said it doesn't? I beg to differ. Yes, 1 goes in it. Before we start, how many answers is this going to have? 4. Okay, so the degree is what? 4. Alright, put 1 on the outside. Go ahead and set up synthetic. 1, -6, 22, -30, 13. This will be the last one, then we'll call it a day. Alright, Kaya, what goes right here? Cade,
1.
Kayla, Logan,
-5.
Megan.
17.
All right, Justin,
7.
Colby, -13. Good. And this is -13 will give you 0. All right, Brandon, tell me how to write this.
X cubed
Yes, good. Go ahead.
minus 5x squared plus 17x plus 13
Plus 13.
minus 15.
All right. What do we do from here? You could try to group them. No.
Do it again.
Do you think grouping would work in this one? So what do we do? Start the process over. What are the possible zeros? Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 13. Go ahead and find which one works and say it out loud whenever you find it. 1. Good. 1 works. So up here, put x equals 1 again. This means that x equals 1 has a multiplicity of what?
2.
Alright, let's do it with this one now. So 1 goes on the outside. This time we're using here. So we got 1, -5, 17, -13. Alright, Jalen, what goes right here?
1.
Camden?
1.
Victor?
-4.
Darian? Miles? Good, this is 13 right here also. So we have x squared minus 4x plus 13 equals 0. Now what? Yes. You'll have one of these on your test, just one. Quadratic formula. So that's going to be 4 plus or minus square root. 4 squared is what? Minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 13. What is 13 times 1 times 4? 52, right? So we get 4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus 52 over 2. What's 16 minus 52? What is the square root of -36? Yes. Thank you. 4 plus or minus 6i over 2. We can take a what out of everything. So 2 plus or minus. Now let's review. How many answers is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we'll stop here. Tomorrow I will show you these